Will millennials fall in line behind Hillary or look elsewhere, or simply perhaps just stay at home? Joining me to discuss the impact they could have on the outcome are Harlan, a political strategist and chair of Democrats for Trump, and Alexander Hefner, a journalist and host of The Open Mind on PBS. And Alexander, if I could start with you, where do you think this is going to go?
Well, I think that we're going to, we have all the makings of an upset tonight. If you look at 538 and you look at all of the analytics and data, it seems that Hillary Clinton has a safe path to victory. What I firmly believe, though, is that her voters aren't going to turn out tonight, and part of that is the Obama coalition and the millennial vote. I think that a lot of my peers, and I'm 25, I think a lot of my peers are going to elect to stay home. And in large part, that's because they're rejecting the philosophy of the past. Hillary Clinton would be doubling down on the current Democratic establishment, which, if you look at Bernie Sanders, they've overwhelmingly rejected. I see nothing that she's providing that will get them out to the polls tonight.
Harlan, what do you think?
I love the word you used, detest, because if you look at this from the Institute of Politics at Harvard or the University of Chicago, that's what it shows. That I think what Donald Trump has engaged in this election cycle has led to a kind of perception of disownership of this pluralistic society, this emerging demographic. And I was in Pittsburgh, St. Pete, South Bend, Dayton, just within the last month, speaking to young people. And I think that there was a consensus that while Clinton doesn't fit into that category of charisma or that category of novel thinking necessarily, she will continue leadership that young people trusted, that assisted a lot of young people in getting health care over the last 8 years, and that led to a more promising future as opposed to a darker, gloomy future. And you've seen in early reports historic Hispanic turnout, and that could well benefit Secretary Clinton in her candidacy.
What about young people? I mean, they don't seem to be enthused, do they?
Well, I think that was true when they had an alternative that was Bernie Sanders during the primary and caucus cycle.
The Green Party and the Libertarians this time.
Well, they have fizzled out if you look at the public surveys in terms of sentiment of young people toward these candidates. And I think they both disqualified themselves from the mainstream. But, it will be important not necessarily what the turnout is, because you have to remember that in 2008 and 2012, it wasn't that President Obama amassed an unprecedented turnout. It was that the margin favored him in these battleground states considerably. So he was winning between 60 to 65% of 18 to 30-year-olds in Virginia and Florida and Ohio. So if that trend continues, that's a good sign tonight.
I mean, Alexander, I think I'm right in saying
Harlan.
Sorry. That Barack Obama did not win amongst white millennials, did he?
Well, here's the truth. I mean, if you look at the polling, the data from early vote, to counter your point, Hillary Clinton is actually underperforming Barack Obama from 2012. Donald Trump is outperforming Mitt Romney from 2012. So if you're actually just analyzing this from the perspective of data, it's clear that she is not well positioned to capitalize on the movements in this election.
She appears to be doing so, according to all the analysis. This is real clear politics. 71.6% chance Hillary Clinton will win.
The data in the polling is based on modeling that assumes turnout. And my contention is that I don't think turnout's going to be what people are expecting. And if you look at the early vote, it's clear that she's already underperforming Obama in 2012. She's already underperforming Obama in 2008. And so, yes, if all these people get out to the polls, she's going to win in a landslide. But what I'm saying is that she's not exciting. She's not this vision of the future. She's not providing this vision of the future that's actually going to get millennial voters and the Obama coalition out to vote. So, yes, it's not all about turnout, but it's about actually getting people to the polls. And so she hasn't proven that she's able to do it. And when you look at the early vote, 40 million Americans have already cast their ballots.
Which is a record number.
That's
getting people to the polls.
Which is a record number. Yes, but Donald Trump has also proven, since he's outperforming Mitt Romney in many of these key battleground states, that he's able to do it as well. So it's a double-edged sword. And I'm telling you, I think that we're in for an upset tonight.
To be determined. In terms of the youth vote, I was on the ground in Cambridge, Mass, and still a student in 2008. And I think what the Secretary expressed last night about regret in terms of the tone of this campaign, barometer of young people's overall impression of the politics. They've gone from sort of the ideals and aspirations of The West Wing, Aaron Sorkin's television drama on NBC2, the gloomy, Machiavellian House of Cards, and so it's
that's how young people feel. That may well play to Trump's Twilight in America.
It is a Twilight in America. However, I think that young people are more likely to find inspiration in, again, a perpetuation of the legacy through Secretary Clinton. I had said that if the Clinton campaign played President Obama's address at the DNC as a pre-election, election eve advertisement, as they did last night with President Obama out in Philadelphia, that would have been a really compelling argument. Having seen this campaign since 2008, the 2012 reelect now, he had to make a persuasive argument for young voters, and he did that last night.
What about social issues? I mean, it would seem that Donald Trump, with his sexist remarks, with his position on abortion, with his position on same-sex marriage, is going out of his way to alienate young people who are against him on all those positions.
Well, one, I do think social issues are very important to millennial voters. I mean, we're much more progressive than previous generations. So I would agree with that. But I would contest the point that Donald Trump hasn't fallen in line. You know, when you looked at the RNC, he had Peter Thiel, who is a gay billionaire, speak on stage to basically introduce him. He highlighted LGBT issues at the RNC. This is something that a Republican nominee hasn't done in history. So I think that he is dragging the 21st century on social issues. Now, once again, my contention is, yes, I believe that Hillary Clinton outperforms with millennials. When you look at the data, when you walk out on the streets and you ask them, who are you going to vote for? They will say Hillary Clinton. But are they excited enough about the prospect of Hillary Clinton to actually get out and go vote for her today?
Are they afraid enough about the alternative, which is reversing rights that have been established over the Obama presidency, whether it's gay rights or the rights of immigrants, the rights of the dreamers.
But then also you have to look at the economic issues behind this. And I have friends that are graduating from university with basically a mortgage. They've got $150,000 in debt and they have no job prospects.
Hillary Clinton says she'll do something about that, and Donald Trump
But can she actually do it with the Congress that she has to work with? I mean, it's nice to make all these promises, but they seem to be really empty.
Well, it's clear that it's going to be difficult to negotiate and legislate in any environment, whoever's elected. But it was smart of Secretary Clinton to adopt very clearly Sanders' ideas around college affordability, because I think Harlan is right in this respect, that there hasn't been a dramatic reshuffling of economic status to position young people in a way that removes that economic obstacle. And that will be the test of a Clinton presidency, because she will have to manage the expectations of the Sanders coalition while at the same time attempting to reconcile these bitterly fought issues with the Republicans over the last year.
Thank you both very much indeed. Well, let's go back now to Colin.
Adam, thanks very much indeed. From